Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Steven and welcome back to another video. In this video I want to ask a question. And this question may seem a little bit odd, but hear me out. Alright? I want to know, do you have a light-skinned father? You know, a light-skinned black father? A black light-skinned father? Alright, so where I'm coming at this, or where I'm coming from rather, is, you know how usually people talk about their parents, right? And like, oh, you know, I have a dark-skinned parent or a light-skinned parent, etc., right? A lot of times when we talk about like people who are like light-skinned, usually one of their parents are light-skinned. At least one, right? But usually a lot of times I hear like, oh, my mom's light-skinned. Usually you don't hear about a light-skinned dad a lot in the community. Even though there are light-skinned dads in the community who have children who are, you know, either as light as them or perhaps darker than them. But yeah, you don't really hear about light-skinned fathers. So I'm just asking and throwing the question out just to know, you know, who has a light-skinned father, right? Me personally, I consider myself to have a light-skinned father. You know, I am definitely a lot darker than my father. Um, you know, have more of an quote-unquote ethnic look than my father. You know. As well, there are celebrities who have light-skinned fathers. Believe it or not, for instance, Rihanna, she has a light-skinned father. I believe that her father is mixed, probably identifies as black, but yeah, lighter skin. And I guess that's where she gets, perhaps where she gets her light skin from. I've seen her mother. Her mother's like brown skin. Let's see, the singer Monica, she has a father who is also mixed. As well, and you know, and I'm assuming, I guess her mother is probably on like a little darker, maybe. So I think, you know, singer Monica and Rihanna have light skinned fathers. The model Jessica White, who's very dark skinned, she has a mixed race father. As you know, actually, her father's mixed, so she has a light skinned father. Let's see. Here's the big one. Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child. She has a light-skinned father. I didn't know that. Um, I thought that both of her parents were dark-skinned, but she said that her father is light-skinned, and when she had her child with her husband, who is also dark-skinned, like the child came out like looking really light-skinned. And like her husband had joked, like, you know, is this my kid? But you know, the kid like looks like him like in the face, you know. But yeah, I didn't know that. I was like, oh, I didn't know that Rowland had a light skinned dad. Because you don't really hear about folks having light skinned dads, you know. I guess this isn't like some big issue, but it's just something to think about, though, you know. Another person who has a light-skinned father is Terrence Howard. You know, the actor Terrence Howard. He has a light-skinned father, um, and I think his father may be white passing. I'm not sure, but yeah, Terrence Howard has a light-skinned father as well. Another person is Bow Wow, aka Shag Moss. He has a light-skinned father as well. And sidebar, y'all remember when Bow Wow was acting and saying he was mixed? This fool, that fool, saying he mixed so he can't vote and like he can't be political, I guess, and because he's mixed. And he posted a picture of his dad, and folks was like, "Well, your dad just looks like a light-skinned black man," you know. Let's see. Another person, I guess I can make this the last person, because this is the last person I can think of. Um, Cory Booker, the politician Cory Booker. He has a light-skinned father and a light-skinned mother as well. Um, so yeah, do you have a light-skinned father? You know, in my family, there are some people, with there are people in my family who have light-skinned fathers. All right. And some of them are not even light skinned themselves. Some of them are like brown skin. I know I have a couple of cousins who have brown skin, but their father is light skinned. You know, I can think of a few of my cousins who are like that, who have like brown skin. They kind of took after the skin tone of their mother versus their father. Um, and they have a light skinned father. I'm like, okay. Well, I guess that was nothing really major until I really thought about it and trying to, because you really don't hear about that, is people usually talk about their light skinned mama, not their light skinned daddy. And again, I don't think this is really an issue that needs to be like, um, you know, addressed and attacked and neutralized. But I'm just saying, it's just something to think about, right? It's just, something to think about. um, um, I do hear about like light skinned uncles. I've heard that thrown around a few times on like my video comment sections. Like, people who have like light skinned uncles. And another note that I want to mention, like quick sidebar, not quite related, but still kind of circles back to what we're talking about. A lot of times, people kind of assume that the darker color is the more dominant color when it comes to like, I guess, race mixing or skin tone mixing, rather. But like, I have a cousin as well as uncles who have like they've had kids, right? And they're light skinned, but they had their kids with like a brown skin or dark skinned person. But a lot of times the kid came out light skinned like them. And I just think that's a bit interesting because a lot of times people feel like, oh, the darker color is the more dominant color. It's the stronger gene because I guess it's darker, thus people think that it is stronger, but that's not necessarily how it works. And also, skin tone is a extremely difficult gene to predict. You don't know how the skin tone is going to go for sure. You know, me, for instance, not to be self-absorbed, but I guess I could have had a skin tone that was similar to my mom's, or I could have had a skin tone that was similar to my father's. But my skin tone kind of like seemed like to have just mixed between them and just had me like in the middle, like not quite here, not quite there, in the middle. While my other family members, like their kids, like seem to have come out more or less with their skin tone, the same skin tone as them. I just think that's something interesting to note as well. Um, you know, but yeah, I guess you don't really hear about light-skinned fathers. I actually saw this light-skinned guy in Walmart with his son, and his son was like kind of like a brown skin, had a brown skin tone. I thought that was like, oh, I don't really see that every day. Usually when I see black men with their kids, usually the kids have the same skin tone as them, or the kid is lighter than them. It's not usually the kid is darker than them, usually. So I just thought that was interesting as well. Again, I guess these are just some observations, nothing to call the NAACP about or anything, nothing to go crazy about, So yeah, I guess that's what I have to say for the time being. So thanks a lot for watching. Feel free to comment, rate, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Your feedback and support are extremely appreciated and extremely valued. Into the next video. Adios and goodbye for now.